Welcome to Inspirational Nourishment. If it is your first time, welcome aboard. And if you are returning, the love and support is appreciated. So obviously the title got your attention. You want to know, as hard as you've been working, as hard as you have been focusing, why are you not manifesting the life that you want and you deserve? And in your opinion, you're doing everything right. Well, let me show you something you might not realize holds as much value as it really does. It could be the key to your stagnation. Let's jump into it. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. Chances are you've done your vision board, you're journaling, you're doing your affirmations, you're probably doing some vision work, you're trying to remain in a good feeling place, and yet and still, you don't feel like you're manifesting or attracting the people, experiences that you desire and you want. Let me ask you, how grateful are you? For your current existence, for your current reality, for what your eyes take in when it looks around, how grateful are you? Now, if you're anything like me, or let me correct that, the old me, you had moments of being grateful. You had certain aspects of your life you were very grateful for. So for example, you had a roof over your head. You had income or means of, monetary gain that allowed you to afford a comfortable lifestyle, or at least a decent lifestyle. But perhaps on the flip side, you weren't happy with your relationship, or perhaps you weren't happy with the physicality of your body, or perhaps you weren't happy with the job you had, although it helped to sustain you. This is the biggest mistake people make when trying to manifest. We have selective gratitude. We're happy and satisfied and grateful over here, but we're complaining and focusing and negative and not happy over there. Now, let me tell you something. The way that the universe works, the way that manifesting works, the way that attraction works, is things have to be aligned. It can't be a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It has to be aligned. So there's no questions or confusion about exactly what it is you are bringing into your life. Now, is that always simple? No, it's not. Because there are going to be some challenging experiences, right? Which is what I love. And I don't know if any of you listen to Abraham Hicks, but go ahead and try it out. And one thing that Abraham talks about is contrasting experiences. So those moments that don't feel too good might make you a little uncomfortable, might even get you to ask the question, why me? Why is this happening? It is a reason. Because until we know what we don't like, we don't know what we do like. Until we know what we don't want, we don't exactly know what to put into our jar of goodies of what we do want. So we have to have those experiences. So the reason I bring that up is because you are going to have some contrasting moments in life. So let's say unfortunately, you became ill, or an unexpected life occurrence happened. The car broke down or something in the house needed to be fixed. So it threw your finances off a little bit, right? So now you have a couple past due bills. Now you might be getting some calls, or now that bill might have doubled. And now you're in a place of feeling a little stressed, perhaps even overwhelmed. It's hard to feel gratitude in a moment like that, right? But it is doable. And it is important. It is important. So I'm not telling you not to try and handle that situation, but what I'm telling you is not to allow that situation to get into the driver's seat so it throws your momentum off that you have been diligently working on to attract the experiences or people or whatever it is that your heart is desiring in the moment. So, for example, using the example of financial hardship taking place in your current reality. Call the gas company, light company, whatever that bill is that's past due. Try and get on a payment arrangement. Then you do your vision work, right? You visualize getting that bill and it's just the current bill. You visualize There was a mistake in calculations and you got a credit. You visualize money from an unexpected source happens to come. But you tunnel focus on that bill getting paid and that feeling of relief, that feeling of gratitude, that feeling of all is well, right? That's where you focus. If it's challenging in that moment for you to visualize that because life is just feeling too real for you right now, leave that situation alone. Still call, do what you can, make your arrangements, whatever, but you don't sit and stew in it. Now let's focus on what is going right. Oh, your husband or your wife made your favorite dinner that night, or they said, hey, you go take you some time, I'm going to take care of the kids today, or I don't know, they remembered your favorite ice cream and they brought it home and it was unexpected. You lost those 5 pounds, or that's certain something you couldn't fit, you could fit into now. Somebody that you haven't talked to or thought about in a while called you and just took you down memory lane, and it was a good time just rehashing. You look around and you remember the time when you were focusing and praying and visualizing and manifesting to get your current home, apartment, condo, car. That certain something that was once a I want to now is a I have, right? Focus on the gratitude. The biggest mistake, the biggest holdup in manifesting is our wishy-washy gratitude. Again, life is going to life. Life is going to happen. But we have got to remain steadfast in remaining grateful. So for me, when I was starting out and moments were happening, things unexpectedly came up, threw me off track a little bit. Or I don't know, maybe it was just a relationship that just kept taking me out of my good feeling moment. Whatever it was. What worked for me, I'm a visual person. So what I would do every morning when I woke up and I would do my affirmations and my morning prayers, I would say 5 things that I was grateful for, right? And I would just let that soak in. I remember a time I didn't have that certain thing, or I was working towards it, or when that thing came in my life, I could remember the day and the euphoria I felt, whether that was the birth of my children, getting my first home, whatever it is, right? That just makes you feel good and put a smile on your face every time you think about it. So I would also have my daily gratitude journal. And the only purpose in this journal was not for me to script or necessarily journal. It was for me to write down the things that I was grateful for. Now, throughout the day, say that moment or that thought tries to creep in, that thing that kind of is trying to get you off track creeps in, I would immediately cut it off and I would focus on what I wrote that morning. I would instantly in that moment think of 3 to 5 things that I am grateful for. It could be, I am grateful to have this office I'm sitting in. I am grateful when I look at my nameplate and it states the position I worked hard to achieve. I remember the moment that position was offered to me. I can remember being able to take my family on this trip I went to, whatever it is, I just look around in that moment in my current reality and I find something I'm grateful for. Because there was a time this was a thought. This was a time that this was a want. So the reason that I look around and I do that, because it makes me feel powerful. It makes me remind myself of the power of my manifesting, the power of me creating the reality that I want. Because remember what I said, there was a moment, this was a want. So you have experiences in your life to show you that when you really want something and you stay steadfast in it, regardless of what's going on around you, the power that holds within. I'm telling you what I know, not what I think. In the midst of it all, you have got to stay grateful, because when we are ungrateful, more things don't come, bigger things don't come. Because what's the point? What you're putting out there is, it's not good enough. What you're putting out there is, I'm not happy. What you're putting out there is, I'm just not satisfied. What you're putting out there is, nothing works out for me. Nothing works out in my favor. I never get what I want. So when you put that out, just more things come that feed that. It's like a moth to a flame when you are manifesting. You attract what you put out, good or bad, and everything in between. And we have got to understand the power in that. So even because the brakes went out or whatever, I'm telling you, and I'm going to tell you all a story just to show you the power of manifesting. And when you stay true to the course, it becomes second nature. You don't even have to be conscious that you're doing it anymore. I was about 24, 25 years old, not that long ago. And I had my daughter. And I was in a job. I had left my previous position as a supervisor for all these different group homes because it was a demanding position. I was on call. I was working all type of, times and whatever, which was fine when I was not a mother. But I wanted to make sure that my baby girl had stability and I was able to set up a life that I knew when I was able to be there for her. And, we just had a routine. So I went on and I found another position. Still supervisory, but I wasn't on call as much. I was more in the office setting. I wasn't in the field as much. So it offered my schedule a little bit more stability, right? Which is what I wanted. I took a slight pay cut to get this job, but it was still what I love to do in the field I love. So fine. The ultimate goal was to provide a routine and stability for myself and my daughter and my family. So I went and I just had this supervisor, an older Black woman that for whatever reason, I couldn't do anything right. So although the CEO and everybody was praising me and I'm an asset to the team, this woman always found fault in me. So I'm a vocal person. I believe in direct communication. I went to her, tried to have a conversation. Of course, she downplayed everything and made it seem like I just was misinterpreting everything and whatever. But I knew in my heart, I knew what it was. I remember going into the bathroom and just feeling so overwhelmed. And at this point, I had been on this job maybe 6 or 7 months. And just feeling so overwhelmed. And I went into the stall and I was just boo-hoo crying because I was frustrated. And I'm trying not to tear this office up. So I'm just trying to let my emotions come out. And I remembered going into prayer. I've always been a prayerful woman, and I just said, God, I know I'm going through this for a reason, and I'm asking you for the strength and the patience, but I'm struggling right now. Although I left a very hectic job, I left a job I enjoyed. And then I came here because I wanted to be able to be the mother that I had and that I wanted to be, and I don't know if it was the right decision for me. I just need you to help me find my way. And in that moment, I remember there was an office assistant, and she was older than me. She was maybe 20 years older than me, and I would never forget her, Annette. Annette walked in as I was coming out the stall, and I was flushed. My face was flushed. I was red. My eyes were red. And she didn't say anything to me. She came and she grabbed my hands, and she prayed. We never exchanged no words. And I remember her saying, God, your child does not belong here. This is just a means for her passing through to get what she needs to move on. Help her to hold on. And I started crying all over again because remember, I never said, we were always cordial, always nice, but we didn't have a relationship outside of work, and she didn't know what I was feeling internally. So the fact that this woman came in, just saw my flushed face, grabbed my hands, and prayed for me in the bathroom. And this was a big bathroom. And ironically, as much women that would come in and out of there all day, nobody came in that bathroom. Nobody was in that bathroom but her and I. And the prayer that she prayed with me and for me was so what I needed and so aligned with what I was feeling, although I hadn't said anything. I came home that night. I wrote my resignation letter. Now, mind you, I hadn't started looking for another job. I've been trying to just make my way and just think I'm going through some growing pains with this job, and this woman would chill out in a minute and, whatever. And I wrote my resignation letter. I came to work that next day. I worked my full day. And at the end of the day, we had mailboxes with everybody's name in one of the staff rooms. And I went and I put my resignation letter in the CEO box. I put my resignation in my immediate supervisor's box. And then I put my resignation in the director's box, who was the woman that always gave me a hard time. I walked off my job that day. 4:30, I clocked out knowing I wasn't coming back. And I ain't said a word, child. I didn't say nothing to HR. I didn't say nothing to nobody. But I felt this is what I was supposed to do. Mind you, I had me a little bit of money saved up. I would be okay for 3-4 months. But I got a brand new baby at home. I got life. I got bills. I got things to do. I got car notes. I got life. And I kept looking for a job. I kept praying. But what I did, God, thank you. All my needs are met. God, thank you. Everybody's just coming at the right time, in the right place, in the right way. Everybody's guiding me. People I never knew. My grandmother called me one day and she said, baby, I just appreciate you and I love you. How much is your car note? I'm going to pay it this month. Now, mind you, I still got my little savings put up. Now, all this time I done had car notes. My grandma may never call me. But I asked no questions. Because see, God was hearing me and supplying for me. And I just kept coming. Even when it was hard, even when I didn't know how, I kept coming. I stayed grateful. I stayed focused. I knew all was well. I didn't pay attention to this over there because that's going to take me off course. But I got this healthy baby girl. I got a family that loves me. I got a roof over my head. I got some money in the bank. I got my health. I got some friends. I could jump in my car and go get what I need. I could take care of my child. She don't want for nothing. My mama is healthy. Life is good. I'm intelligent. I could go after jobs. I got options. God is good. I know God. I got testimonies. I'm gonna be all right. I'm favored. I'm chosen. I'm blessed. I ain't got nothing to be stressed about. This is just God preparing me for what's coming and what I'm doing. Do you hear I'm speaking life into myself? Whole time. I don't know when the job is coming. I don't know what it's gonna be, where it's gonna be, how much it's gonna get paid. Do I just gotta take whatever I can get? All of those type of thoughts was going to take me off course. I stand here, sitting here today, I'm telling you, I had about 4 months worth of money put up. God was so good and my manifesting was so strong, I only had to use 1 month worth of money. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? People just wanted to bless me. I didn't even know I was part of a class action suit. I got an $1,100 check in the mail. I don't even know what the class action suit was about. But do you hear what I'm saying? I stayed focused. I stayed grateful. I knew all was well. And when those moments tried to creep up at night when things got quiet, this is what I would do. I would just keep talking life. I would just keep talking gratefulness because all was well. I did not allow that over there to make me go like this, because as long as I'm looking this way, I'm not looking what's coming. So I can't go over there. I got to stay right here. So I'm telling you, from the moment I made the decision, this is not for me and I got to come for what I want, God sent a woman in there to pray with me. God put it in my spirit, walk away. You got what you needed. You went there not only for myself, but what I can tell you in looking back at that experience, it taught me as I was climbing the ladder in my career to go from managers and supervisors to directors to regional directors to executive directors and all the titles that I've held. That moment taught me the type of supervisor I wanted to be and what I did not want to be. It taught me how to feed into my team. It taught me how to make my staff feel valuable, feel important, to not come to work just for a paycheck, to feel that they are truly making a difference in what they're doing. But I had to go through that experience, and not to say that I would have been this horrible boss. I wasn't, because that's not my character. But that just took it to a next level for me. But I had to have that contrasting moment. But what I'm telling you is, I stayed true even when I didn't know what the answer was. Was it hard sometimes? Yes, but I knew the power of my mind. I knew the power of my tongue. So I am offering to you, keep your manifesting, keep scripting, keep journaling, keep doing all those things. All those things play a part. But what I will tell you is, if you don't have steadfast gratitude as a part of your manifesting strategy, you are going to be very delayed in getting the things that you want. You'll get little crumbs here and there, but them big things you coming for, them heart leaping things that you want, them things that you got on that vision board that you really, really want to hone in and get, gratitude has got to be a part of the game plan. So again, my apologies. I did not want to make this video long, but that is one of the biggest mistakes. People think I'm journaling, I'm visualizing, I'm doing my affirmations, whatever. But without the gratitude, you are missing one of the key ingredients in your recipe. You have got, despite your current situation, you have got to remain grateful, because let me leave you on this note. The situation that is your current reality right now, somebody is on bended knee praying to be where you are. Because it can always be worse. You can always go without a whole lot more. Remain grateful. Somebody is somewhere on bended knee praying for the very thing that you are dissatisfied in this moment. I wish you nothing but love, abundance, success, but above all, authentic happiness. If you haven't, please consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.